Good evening, everybody. I just wanted to give you an update about TBLT. Obviously, things did not go as planned today. However, there's fabulous news in that the short interest has gone from just above 158% to now over 219%. Guys, it is rocketing. They're just building themselves a deeper hole. Now, my biggest fear is that we would wake up tomorrow and see that they had an options chain. However, that is not the case because this stock has under 6 million shares. So they cannot open options on it at this time. Now, there's a lot of FUD going around in the community because of a filing that was actually just an amendment and the registration of the filing with the SEC. And that is old news. Do not let people scare you into selling out on your position because the comments that I've seen going around on social media, especially Webull, I swear to God, that place is like a harvest trap because they are like a firm that makes money off of basically selling your shares to short sellers, right? So what do they come up with on their platform? Anytime anything drops, there you will publish an article that you won't see on sites like Fidelity or even Ameritrade. They don't put out this FUD like that. First thing I do when I see that there, was a filing today, which was expected because they have to register the shares and stuff with the SEC. It's not a new dilution like people are spreading the FUD about. But Webull, unlike the other platforms, and probably Robinhood, if they even give you news articles, I don't know about that, but they go around and they let these articles get published that are just total FUD to scare the crap out of people into selling their shares, guys. Please, when you see headline news like that, do your DD or ask somebody. If you go on Stock Twits or something like that, where, people on there may actually know what they're talking about. Not all of them, so be careful who you trust because there's a lot of FUD on there too. But if you pay attention to figure out who the, people that actually do know what they're talking about are, and you follow them, you may learn something. So I just wanted to clear the air on that because it's not a new filing. There's nothing to be scared about, and it is what it is. I mean, that filing came out, actually, I think it was on my birthday, July 27th. So it was something that we all knew, happened. And as you can see, the stock dipped then, and then it shot up again. And now they pulled it back down. So my expectation is we're actually making a very nice pattern in a descending wedge that we should break out of. And I'm hoping that I'm seeing in the chart in after hours a double bottom forming that I'm hoping we break out of strong tomorrow. However, just be prepared because I know that, the shorts love to fearmonger people. And given the fact that, there's currently over 200% short interest, 219% is the last one, although I'm going to show you the Ortex data in just a few minutes. However, I did check it again and it's up like another percent to 219 because I think the one I have is like 215 or 218 or something like that. But anyways, whatever, it's extremely high. That's really all that matters. And I'm not quite sure because Ortex is really bad about updating information. So if indeed the firm that bought those private placement shares decides to sell them, then that could increase our float. And that's the only thing that could be concerning. But guys, I think there's between the failure to deliver is that there's no way they could have gotten today unless they made a deal with that firm to buy them ahead of time. And that's why we didn't see a price move. That was the first thing I thought of when I saw this. It's possible, but that still leaves us with a massive short interest. I mean, remember, anything over 10% is huge. And ToughBuilt has been putting out amazing DD every single day. Not every single day. That's a little extensive. Every single week, I should say, lately. And I expect that I think they want to see their stock go back to where it belongs too. So I would expect that they're going to release something either tomorrow or probably this week. And I'm bullish. I'm very, very bullish on the stock. In fact, I think it's probably the best play in the market right now. I do see lots of short covering going on. I'm not going to talk about that in this video because I'm going to make a separate video on that and give you guys some tickers. So stay tuned for that. But anyways, let's get into just a quick update on the Ortex data. I really just wanted to tell you not to be nervous with that filing because it's nothing new. All right, guys, nothing I say is financial advice. Let's just quickly get into that. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. Okay, guys, David shared this with me a few hours ago, and I did just go on and check. And like I said, it did increase slightly. Actually, it's about 4% higher now. It was at 219 when I just checked it, but for time because it's getting late and I want to get this out to you, I'm just going to use this right now. So thank you, David. The current short interest according to this is 215.58%, but it is actually 219%, guys. The cost to borrow max is 953.41% and average is 802.66%, minimum of 653.41%. And guys, as you can see, they didn't return any shares. They just borrowed more. So let's just quickly look at Fintel because I want to see what the FTDs are for tomorrow and if there's any shares available to borrow. Although, as you can tell from today, which is a big pet peeve of mine, that there is an endless liquidity pool in this market. When they don't have shares available, which clearly they don't because they've sold over 2 times the float short, they just magically make them up to lend out. You know, that F9 override or F3 override, I can't remember, but it was from like The Big Short or something. It used to be one of my favorite sayings, but off the top of my head, I can't remember. I think it was maybe F3 override. If somebody knows, put it in the comments because I used to love saying that every time it happened. But it's been a while since I've seen it get this bad, so it's kind of not fresh. Anyways, they do legit have like an override button where they just make a magical liquidity pool and pull shares out of nowhere. It's absolutely crazy, and how they even allow this is beyond me because it's essentially, and I'm sure you've heard this if you listen to my channel, but if you don't, I'm going to say it because I love saying this too. It's essentially like I own a car, right? Right now I'm currently selling my Mercedes. So I have my title to my Mercedes. I have 10 people interested in buying it. I take money from all 10 people, but I only have one title. Guys, I'd be in jail if I did that, right? So, how the heck are they able to do this and there's no consequences? None. Zero. Maybe they get slapped with a minuscule fine, but legit, they're stealing from us. This is the frustration in the market. This is what made me start my YouTube channel because I've really had it. Like, this goes on every single day. And you know what? It's one thing if we saw that the short interest was, 100%, which would still be absolutely ridiculous because that would mean they sold twice the amount of shares that exist, right? Essentially one to the short person and one to the long person, doubling the size of the float. However, when you start seeing it like at 200%, and that's not even counting like the failure to delivers or anything else that clearly they couldn't meet, guys, because look they borrowed more shares today. Do you think that they magically covered those failure to delivers? And please don't ask me what the heck happens to them because I think they got fined by the SEC for that. Whoop-de-doo, they don't care. That's a cost of business for them because they're probably trying to prevent a massive short squeeze here. And my guess is that they're hoping whatever hedge fund made that deal in that filing, which I can't remember off the top of my head because it's been several days since I read it, but they're probably hoping they can make a deal with them, which they probably will, to get some of those shares, right? That would be my thought. Again, I'm not worried about it because, guys, remember, this is what's reported, and something tells me there's a whole lot more naked shorting than we even know about here, because imagine if this information is self-reported, what the real numbers are. Just saying, allegedly, I don't want to get sued, but my thought is that it's probably insane. So, I mean, we've all seen it. This is not new news. Anyways, let's get into Fintel because I could go on for hours about this and I don't want to waste your time. Okay, guys, I'm actually going to start with Market Chameleon because I was looking for something else and they seem to have redone their website, so I'm not quite sure what that area is, but I'm going to have to see if I can find it. But what I did come across that I wanted to bring to your attention is that, look at this question. What is the highest and lowest price Tough Bolt Industries traded in the last 3-year period? In the last 3 years, TBLT stock traded as high as $1,087.45 and as low as $1.34. I'm bringing this to your attention because they were shorted so bad that they had to do a reverse split, which is why you get that insane $1,000 price tag in the last 3 years, right? So guys, when I tell you with a short interest of 200% that this is the stock that should be on everybody's watch list, and I can't believe that it's not being pumped like freaking crazy from like every follower that like, you know, has huge followings on YouTube and whatever else. I mean, I'm just a tiny little nobody knows who I am really. But somebody like Keenan Grace, Trades, Matt Kors, you know, on Twitter, like pumpers, you know, Will Mead is a good pumper, somebody like that. You know, guys, I can't believe they're not spreading this word. And I mean, this isn't even pumping like the stock. This is reality. This is fact. This isn't like a penny stock that they normally push on people, right? But this is like a real opportunity, like when GME went to $500. And there's your proof. With all the shorting that they've done, this is why they're trying to keep this price down so much. So if this doesn't have, you know, you excited, I don't know what will, because you can buy a stock now for under $8 that potentially could go to over $1,000 due to the short interest at hand. You know, guys, we saw it happen with HKD this past couple of weeks. You know, that thing went up to, I don't know, like over $2,000, maybe even over $3,000. I only looked at it every once in a while out of fun, wanting to kick myself because I could have bought it at 50 and didn't, but hey, crap happens. I mean, at that point, it had already run up so much. I was like, I'm not touching that. You know, in hindsight, wish I did, but I do have a rule, guys, and that's not to chase. This is not chasing. This is an opportunity, even if you have to sit on this money for a few weeks or whatever until this news starts to spread, because trust me, it will spread once it gets out there. And guys, when you tweet and stuff, tell people what's going on. You can share this video all you want. Reality is, this is going to like go really high. And I'm not promising anyone it's going to go to $1,000 or more, but I honestly see the opportunity here of this going to at least triple digits. And I can't promise you that it will, but if any stock in the market could right now, guys, I don't know any other one that has 200% short interest. The companies promised no more dilution, and I believe that they really want their shares to go up as well too, guys. They've been kicked down hard. So hopefully, fingers crossed, you know, people will take note of this and people will realize the importance of what they have. Because in order for it to get back there, people also have to hold. And that can be hard sometimes. You have to hold. Just look at the HKD chart and see what it's done. And I'm not telling you guys when you should sell, when you should buy. That's a decision only you can make. And you know what? There's something that somebody taught me a long time ago, and it's to always take profits along the way. So, you know, if this thing should start running, and let's just use easy math, for example, right? Let's say you bought in at $7 a share and you bought 100 shares. So that would be $700, right? When you get to a level where you can pull back money so that you're basically playing with house money, that's a really good way to do things, you know, when it's running, so that no matter what, you don't have to feel like you're risking your money if you choose to hold. And then, guys, set levels where to take profits along the way. You know, make a plan out. Nobody should ever plan without a trade. But it's very important that you always look at what it could do. Now, there's no guarantees in life. There's no promises this can do that. But right now, the market's pumping. If we can get past this $8 mark again and really start running into the double digits, it's going to create a lot of FOMO buying. And you're going to be ahead of that game because you're already going to have your shares. Guys, I've been in this a long time. I told my friend today what I bought in at. I forget if it was like $3.55, $2.55, $4, something like that. It was under $4. I remember that. And he was like, "Oh my gosh, you've been in that long?" I said, "Yeah, because I saw the writing on the wall, and I've been talking about it for a long time, guys. So if you follow me, you know this has been going on, and you should still have those shares too, or maybe you sold, bought more, whatever the case may be. I sold part of mine in one account, bought some more. It's how you roll, and that's how you're going to make money in this market. And you need to learn to do that. Don't let people scare you out of taking profits. You need to just be able to make money. That's the important thing. And if the thing doesn't run, or it runs more after you've sold, if you made profits, that's all that matters. If you keep compounding those small gains, you're gonna see your account really start to grow. And I want that for all of you. I want you all to make a lot of money here. So anyways, I just wanted to share that with you because I think it's important you know where this stock was and what it has the potential to do. And I also saw, and let's see if I can find it real quick again, they have an updated share of 2.13 million shares. And I'm not sure what Ortex is using as their share count, but I know that I had told people because Webull had 1.75 million shares. And I think I saw somewhere a while ago that Ortex had updated this number. So I think that it's more like 2.13 million, whatever. It's tiny, tiny. That's a very, very small float. To put things into perspective, a float that people have been monitoring has been Redbox, that started with a 3 million float. Now, off the top of my head, I think it's 4 million, maybe 6 million. I don't know. I think I'm confusing Rev, and it's been a while since I really looked at the float of either of those stocks, but they're tiny, right? And they can move really fast. This is why TBLT can move really fast too. If you notice in after hours when that article came out, the price had a rapid drop, right? If you looked at the level 2, that was fake, guys. That wasn't people selling. That was fear mongering, trying to get people to sell as if there was some big 12 million share offering, guys. And a lot of those, warrants and stuff, some of those may be locked up. You have to read the details of it and really look at it. But to be perfectly honest, it's not going to change the fact that this is very heavily shorted. And if you don't think that the company that bought those knows that they're going to make some massive money on that, they're going to use those for good cause. They're going to hold on to those warrants. They're going to hold on to those shares in that private placement. And again, you'd have to look at the details, but it's not new news. And it's not something that should be, red flag. Oh my God, this is never going to happen. So please don't get scared. We have a great opportunity here. I'll keep you up to date with the Ortex information. And if anything changes, I will let you know. I don't want anybody to lose any money, and I certainly don't want to lose money either. But just know they may try to run with that news tomorrow and dip it, but you have the heads up. You know that it could come. Although on the other hand, smart money could say, see what's going on here. Time for us to take a jump in. And we could see, more institutional buying because TBLT's had some really fabulous news. Anyways, I'm getting way off track. So let's just take a look at Fintel real quick. Sorry, I almost forgot to show you what I came on Market Chameleon for. And that was to show you that today, 68% of the trades were in the dark pool and only 4.7 million shares were traded today, guys. So the volume was incredibly low, which is why I believe that people really don't know the scenario with TBLT and what's going on as far as the short interest and stuff goes, because there should be a heck of a lot more shares being traded than that. So that being said, there's a lot of opportunity here for volume to come in. And once that FOMO buy-in starts, guys, this thing is going to rip. Anyways, in the past 20 days, the average dark pool has been 68%. So it's right on average. Obviously, we've talked about this. It's ridiculous. This is how they control the price and drive it down, right? They basically do this so that the volume doesn't show, whether it's low volume, whether it's high volume. And I mean, essentially for this stock, that's still 2 times the float being traded today. More than that, right? So that's huge, guys. Okay, now we're really looking at Fintel. Okay, guys, according to Fintel, the short interest is only 29.95% of the float. Gotta love it. Clearly, let's just make sure we're looking at TBLT. That's bizarre. Anyways, the off-exchange volume today was 2.343 million shares, which they claim is 46.82% of the volume. But as we saw on Market Chameleon, we know that it was 68% of the volume. Again, guys, this is common. I don't know what causes this, but here's what I really like to look at Fintel for, and that is that there's no shares left to borrow. So they have no shares available to float at this time. To short at this time. And if they did, check it out. The latest cost to borrow is 765.51%. So sure, if they can come up with, that F3 or whatever it is, override key, that's what they're going to be paying. That's a pretty penny to pay to short the stock right now. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. And just so you know, I want to show you the FTDs. We looked at it yesterday and saw that there was quite a bit due. They had 3,234,620 due today. And tomorrow they have another 1,914,868. Good luck to them finding those shares again. Like I said, I have no clue what happens when they don't deliver. It probably gets pushed, to new failure to delivers for the following month. That's the only thing I can think of that it would. And I believe they get fined by the SEC for not delivering on those shares. Because remember, they're not putting those shares into your account when they're not, they're basically selling naked shorts. That is what this is. Naked short selling, which I don't know how they do again, but it is what it is, guys. So another huge day and a huge opportunity tomorrow if they can find those shares to deliver. But eventually, guys, this can't just keep getting kicked down the road and kicked down the road. It's going to catch up to them. And eventually this is going to erupt. And, with the cost to borrow what it's at, I don't know if you saw after hours, but there was a lot of short covering going on all day today. We were at a critical level in the SPY, and we surpassed that as soon as we surpassed 405. And today, briefly, we went above 415. So, and we're very, in after hours, I think we're down into 414 again, maybe slightly lower because it usually pulls back. And then hopefully the trend will continue upwards again tomorrow. Based on what I saw after hours today, I completely expect that to happen. So you better believe that shorts are going to start to try to cover this. They're going to need shares because this can't keep going on. But anyways, stay tuned. I'll be making that video next on, the short covering that's happening in the market. So check it out if you're interested because there's a lot of opportunity this is the time to make a crap ton of money, guys. I mean, when I tell you it's been a good 3 days, day one when it started on Monday this week, I think my account was up. I put on Twitter. I want to say it was like 17% on the day. My account was up 17% in one day. That's more than the average person does in a year. So when I say there's opportunity, there's opportunity. If you don't follow me on Twitter, at Teresa_Perrin, I tweet all day long. I literally have like severe carpal tunnel in both hands from doing this crap, guys. But I love it. It keeps me entertained. So pay attention because there's a lot of great plays out there. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe and come back for more.